This is a tutorial on how to use a calculator to store values into variables. So to demonstrate this, let's take a look at our first example. So here we want to evaluate the expression 2x minus 3y when x is 4 and y is negative 1. Well, one way we could do this on our calculator is to actually store these values into their respective variables. For example, we could store our x value of 4 into the letter x on our calculator. So in order to put this on our calculator, we first type in 4, and then we need to hit the store button, which is down here in the bottom left corner. Now you'll notice on our home screen, it's represented by an arrow. Now we just need to tell the calculator which letter we want to store the value into. And to keep things simple, let's just store it into the letter x. And then hit enter. So at this point, whenever we recall the letter x on the home screen, it'll give us its respective value that we assigned it, which is 4. Now let's do the same thing with our y value. In our example, our y value is negative 1. So let's store that into the letter y on our calculator. So we'll first put in negative 1, and then store, and now we pull up the letter y, then hit enter. So now whenever we recall the letter y on our home screen, we'll get its value of negative 1. Now that we have both our x and y values set up, let's evaluate our expression, 2x minus 3y. So to do that, all we need to do is type it onto our calculator. So we'll first do 2, and then bring up x, and then minus 3 times y. Now when we hit enter, the calculator will give us the result based on the assigned values for our x and y variables, which in this case is 11. Which makes sense because when you have 2 times 4, that gives you 8, and then a negative 3 times a negative 1 is a positive 3. And 8 plus 3 is the same thing as 11. Now let's try one more example, but with different values for our x and y variables. So this time, we want to evaluate the expression 2x minus 3y when x equals 10 and when y is 5. So let's first assign our x value by storing 10 into the letter x. So we'll first punch in 10 and then store, and now we bring up the letter x and then hit enter. So now we have our x variable ready. Now let's assign our y variable by storing the value of 5 into the letter y. So we'll put in 5 stored into the letter y and then hit enter. So now our y has that new value of 5. Now at this point, our variables are ready again to evaluate our expression. So let's type in 2x minus 3y and then hit enter. Now from this we could see that when x is 10 and y is 5, 2x minus 3y will give us a result of 5. And that's how you store values into variables on a calculator.